All right, and welcome to the Motion Code Divas show. And I had to check, like episode 57. Wow, so we've got a lot. You can find all the previous episodes on this page, but also on our YouTube channel. So Helene and I have dedicated this month of February to the heart wall and the heart and relationships. So with relationship with yourself, with your family, romantic relationships, how are the relationships going with colleagues that you work with, and all of that. So today specifically we are talking about the romantic partner relationship. So Helena will be working on our viewer today who stepped up. She'll tell us a little bit about that. But Helena and I are both certified emotion code divas. Oh, we are certified. We're not certified emotion code divas. We are certified emotion code practitioners. We've been trained by and in Dr. Bradley's program, the Emotion Code. You can buy this book, but he's got a new book that's going to actually be hitting the shelves in May, so stay tuned for that. But everything that we're talking about today, the heart wall, the areas that we go through to actually do emotion code session is in here, so you can check that out. You can do emotion code sessions by yourself and for yourself, but Helena and I have found that when we have a certified practitioner do it for us, where Helena does mine, I do hers. There's a little bit more that goes on, and a little bit more in depth, because we are trained in it and have been doing it both now for a couple of years. So I'm also a certified law of attraction trainer, and the reason I mentioned that today is because at the age of 50, I decided I had been divorced since I was 30. Had a great life as a single woman, but I decided at 50 that I wanted to find a romantic partner, and I set about doing that by using the law of attraction. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today and share some of the tools and techniques that I use to actually attract my husband. And they're using the emotion code. If I'd known about it then, I think I could have done it quicker than 4 months, but anyway, it was 4 months and it was all good. So that's a little bit about me. Helena, introduce yourself, and then we're going to get rocking and rolling on Valentine's Day, pre-Valentine's Day.
Yes. Pre-Valentine's Day, yes. Good morning. My name is Helena Jenick, and I'm a certified emotion code practitioner as well as a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I help men and women release excess weight. I help them overcome fears and phobias. Also, I'm known as the Stop Smoking Lady. I love to help people stop smoking in one hypnosis session. And Dana, I do actually have an emotion code hypnosis protocol to help people stop smoking that I can do over the internet. Isn't that exciting? I love
That
it.
is majorly exciting.
Yes, yes. And I just want to share a tiny little moment about my own love story, finding a romantic partner. I was about the age of 42, and I've been alone for most of my life. Probably sometimes maybe my choice, maybe not my choice, but finally at the age of 42, I decided to hire a life coach. And my life coach, she helped me create a clear vision of how I wanted my life to be, and we created a vision board. And we also then started talking about my ideal partner and listed all that out, got some clarity around that, and then I ended up going through a introduction service, and I'm so happy that I did, because we got to meet, and here it is 12 years later. So it's amazing what you do when you get that clarity, and also removing the blocks that are stopping you from attracting that partnership.
Exactly, and that's such a great story, because it's just a few days ago I actually was doing a feng shui vision board session. I did an hour, and we created her vision board just focusing on what she wanted. So it was great because we used the 9 sections of the feng shui bagua, and for each one it was a specific word for what she wanted in that relationship. So it's a fun thing to do as well, because once you've got the vision, Helena, you and I were talking earlier about your success with your weight loss group, that
Yeah.
once you hold on to the vision, whether it's to stop smoking or have whatever it is you want in life, releasing that weight, feeling better. It's the vision that keeps you focused. And then, of course, I'm going to talk about what you're saying to yourself and all of that with the law of attraction. But anyway, what we'll do right now is we'll just dive right into, we're going to go through the areas of what it's like if you have an emotion code session with us. And the reason that we do that is we know we have some first-time viewers, and we post these up on YouTube. So we like people to know what it is that we will be doing if you called us for an emotion code session, and particularly if it was to remove the heart wall. So Helena, the first thing, so you're working on someone and you have asked for
Their permission, that's right. So we have our volunteer for today, and she is located somewhere else other than here in beautiful snowy Mill Bay, Vancouver Island, but I have her permission to work on her. Now, Dana, we also can work on children that we've received the permission from the guardian, as well as on animals. So I'd love to work on strangers, but I don't have their permission, so that's not what I do.
Yeah, that's not what's going to happen. So once we've got that permission, now Helena's working with someone in California, and she's not here. They may or may not connect in person, and we may not with someone, so we become their proxy.
That's right, they're proxies. So with her permission, I've asked to ask her subconscious mind directly questions, yes or no questions, and that way we can move through the work that we're doing.
Exactly. And one of the things that we like to ask on a conscious level is, how severe is the emotions or the situation or whatever you're going through on a scale of 1 to 10? So what do we have for our viewer today, Helena?
So our viewer has, through texting, actually, I've connected with her through texting. She stated that her severity is a 9 out of 10. That is her conscious answer. I will be checking with her subconscious to find out if that is the number that the subconscious has. Our intention is to get that down to a lower number and even a 0.
Exactly. And so how we're going to do that is we're going to use something that Dr. Bradley Nelson talks a lot about. There's a lot of YouTube videos on this, a lot of information in his book. It's called muscle testing. Because to test what's going on, we're tapping into that subconscious. So what I know, Helena, you and I have a little bit different technique for that. What's your technique look like?
So my technique is this. I put my 2 fingers together in circles, and then I interlock them. Then when I think of the word yes, they lock together. And when I think of the word no, they just pull apart. So that's a yes and that's a no.
Right. And again, go to Dr. Bradley's book. He's got a lot of different ways to do it. Mine is index and thumb together, and then my index and middle finger, and that's a clear yes. When I tap into, when I have the permission, I'm the proxy, I tap into that person's subconscious, and that's a yes and that's a no. And we can do that asking directly, is this, do they have a hidden heart or a heart wall, a hidden heart wall? And we're looking for, if we ask, do they have a heart wall, and we get a no, we go, do they have a hidden heart wall? Subconscious is a mastermind at hiding emotions. And so what are we looking for, Helena? What are we asking?
We're looking for trapped emotions that are located on the emotion code chart. Now, the emotion code chart is a chart that Dr. Brad put together. It's got 60 negative emotions listed into 2 columns, A and B, and then into 6 rows, odd and even rows. So when I'm doing the work today, I'll be asking if there's a negative trapped emotion that I can release today from column A or column B in an odd row or an even row. Then we come down to a cell with 5 different negative emotions in there. And then I ask individually if I can release them.
And an interesting thing too with the emotion code chart is Helena and I did a special on chakras and how they related to the emotions and where Dr. Bradley had suggested where they were. So when you look at row 1, it says that it could be the heart or the small intestine. So basically we're looking at that heart chakra and just underneath that the solar plexus. So a lot of those emotions that we find will often be in either column A or column B in that row 1. Doesn't have to be, but often they are. And so the way that we're going to actually release these emotions once we find out what it is by using
Magnets. These are our magnets today. Click, click. There it goes. I have so many magnets, Jana. I notice I carry them in my car. I have them in the office. I have them in my home office. And upstairs beside my bed, I just have magnets all over the place. So
Well, that's good too, because the hematite actually is a great stone to get rid of negativity. So you can place these anywhere in your home, in your office, or whatever. But my magnets are, whoops, they're very, very strong, and it doesn't matter how many you have. And in fact, once I was out, someone gave me a call, and I didn't have my magnets with me, so I just used my hand, because our hands are magnetic as well. So what we're doing is with these governing meridian, we start there and just above the lip. And if the person was with us, we would take the magnet, and what we're doing is we're demagnetizing that emotion. So we're doing 3 swipes over our head, if that is their emotion that we're releasing, and we're doing 10 swipes if it's inherited. If the person was here, we could take it from the grand meridian all the way down to their spine. But if they're not and we're sitting up, then we just do the 3 like that. And one of the most important things to ensure that we're getting a correct reading on the emotions is by being
hydrated. Hydrated, very important, because energy loves to flow through water. And so the more hydrated the physical body is, the clearer the answers that we will be getting, the yes or no answers. So cheers, Dana.
Cheers. And we also like who we're working with to be hydrated. And it's just a good, healthy thing to do anyway. If you're drinking a lot of caffeine or something, you want to make sure that you're flushing that through with a lot of water, because things can get very blocked with caffeine, and water is just flowing. That energy just flows out.
Yeah.
All right, Helena, I'm going to go ahead but let's say hello to a few people that we have watching. What do you see there, Helena?
I see Geraldine. Geraldine's our volunteer for today.
Excellent.
And yes, and so hello, first time viewer. And I see that Tammy Price is watching with us, and so is Kelly Carson, all the way from Costa Rica.
Awesome. And let's not forget we have that, Kelly's saying she can't stay, and that's fine. It's recorded. So it'll be up there for you and on our YouTube channels. And then we always get a nice weather report from Natasha Paula Samuel in sunny, dry day here in Rumford, Essex. Natasha, let us know if you've had any snow, because I know our weather is very similar. We're in Vancouver. We have had a record snowfall. Helena's on the island. You've got more snow than we do, but yeah, this is the most snow I've seen for a long time.
This much snow.
Yeah, that's a lot for us.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Alrighty, so Helena's going to go ahead and work with Geraldine, and I'm going to talk about the heart wall and also law of attraction. So Dr. Brad spends a lot of time in his book talking about the heart wall. He sort of, how he describes it is, if you think of, if you were in a situation, let's say you had to, I'm using his description here, but let's say you had to, there was something going on and you had to hide in a bomb shelter. So you were protecting yourself, you took yourself away from the situation, you guarded yourself, and you had a protective wall, literally a protective wall around you. Well, with the heart wall, it's the same thing. But what happens with the heart wall, if it never gets released, it's always there. So it's always providing you with some kind of shield around your heart. Now, for myself, when I was divorced at 30, and then I spent a lot of time just on my spiritual journey working. I'm fortunate I'm somebody who likes my own company, so I don't mind doing a lot of things alone or do some things in groups. But around the age of 50, I thought, I think I would actually like to find a new partner. Not kind of what I had when I was younger in my 20s, but someone that could be more of a companion, somebody that I could had a lot of the same values, that we had sort of the same vision for what life would look like as a couple moving forward, because that's very important. So I realized that had I known about the emotion code at the time, I could have gotten rid of a lot of these trapped emotions that I have that were blocking me. And, very definitely, I had heartache when I was younger. I can remember my first, the first love and the first breakup. And then, of course, when I was 30 and had my divorce, there was no question about it. I put up walls. And with a heart wall, you can have a heart wall in any substance that you want, because it's in the subconscious. So for me, my heart wall was built up of cement. It was like 30 feet thick. And even with the cement, where there was actually a door, there was cement, but I had it all locked and locked and locked. And then I remember I put a chain around this is in my mind, subconscious, a chain around that block that I had, and there was a big lock on it, and I threw that key away. And because my heart, and I was feeling so hurt at that time at 30, I didn't want to get divorced, but it happened. And so, unbeknownst to me, when I was kind of looking for love between that 30 and 50, kind of half-heartedly, I still had all those blocks up. So you can build a heart wall. It could be made of anything. Dr. Brad describes in the book how his wife had a heart wall, and it was made of wood, and it can be 1 foot thick, it can be 10 foot thick, it can be 100 foot thick. So the wall that you build, whatever it's made of, the material will have something to do with your subconscious, something that will allow you to not allow anybody in. So so what I did is I actually used the law of attraction. So on previous shows, I've talked to you about this 3-step deliberate law of attraction. And the first step is actually to identify my desire. So identify what it is you want. And that's what Helene and I were talking about earlier, about having the vision. What's that vision going to look like? So one of the things that you have to remember when you're creating what it is you want in a romantic relationship is you want to go ahead and make a list. You can just do this on a piece of paper, fold it in half, but in there, at the top, you want to write my ideal romantic relationship or my ideal partnership or whatever it is for you. You may be just wanting to improve the relationship that you have right now, and you can use this as well. So you're going to take a look at, write down everything that you don't want in that relationship. So, it could be that you don't want someone that doesn't have the same values as you. You don't want someone that's not reliable. You don't want someone that's not committed. You don't want someone that takes you for granted. You don't want someone that doesn't respect you, and on that whole list can go about what you don't want. And so then what you're going to do once you've done that list is you're going to get the clarity on what it is you do want. So this becomes the focus. So let's say the first one you wrote is, I don't want someone, it could be something like, I don't want someone that's not committed to a one-on-one partnership or a monogamous relationship. So that might be the first one, what you don't want. So what you do want is someone that is 100% committed to me. And so you would cross off what you don't want on that list. You go to the next one. Let's say you don't want someone that, say for you, music is important. So you don't want someone that doesn't like the same type of music. So you're going to say what you do want. You want someone that enjoys, and you can list the music. It might be jazz, pop, rap, whatever it is for you. And so then you cross off that other one and you go down that whole list. So what you're left with is just this clarity on what it is you do want. And so with that list, what you're going to do is take a look at it every day. Don't hide it away. Put it up where you can see it. And so you're going to start to notice because you're going to now look for evidence of where are there people that have a great relationship. So you might even go on Facebook, you might consider going to dating sites. You might think that that's a good action for you to take. If that feels right, do it. If it doesn't, don't do it. Oftentimes people can be introduced by friends. If that feels good to you, then do it. But what you're going to look for are couples that really represent what you would like to have. Maybe there are some celebrity couples. There might not be a lot, but there certainly could be some that you like. Yeah, I really like what they have. Or it might be somebody that I really like how they treat each other. I really like that they're a family. I really like how they spend quality time together. So you're looking for evidence to support that what you want is possible. And so always holding that vision, right? And anything that doesn't feel good, let it go. So I know when I was starting to attract men when I was 50, and I'd done my clarity through contrast worksheet. So once I decided what it was I wanted, I started to go out with a few different men that asked me out, and immediately I could tell within the first few minutes that there wasn't going to be a connect. I can remember one man in particular, the whole conversation was about him. He never asked anything about me. It was just he was telling me all about him. So what I said to the universe is always say thank you, thank you, thank you. And then in my mind, I just go next. And so when you find someone that isn't a match for you, that's perfectly fine. The good thing about that is you know that there are people out there. So you've got your vision, you know what it is, you've seen couples, you know it's possible. You're going to keep looking for the evidence and keep when somebody does, even if somebody does phone. So this is super important tip that I can give you here. Because I've worked with couples, people helping them find relationships, individuals rather. This is so important. Helena and I talk about this all the time. We use it. She uses it with her groups. I use it with anybody that I'm working with. That it's the words that you're saying to yourself that gives you your beliefs and your thoughts. So when you have these thoughts, if you said, "Oh, that guy was such a," and I don't usually use this word about people, but that guy was just such a jerk, or he just wasn't a fit, or oh, what a waste of time. That goes into your vibrational bubble, and those words and thoughts, those feelings of not feeling very good about somebody, give you your results. So if you keep saying, there's nobody out there for me, nobody will love me, I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough, well, the law of attraction is a very obedient servant. It works 24/7, and that's the result that you're getting from the words that you're thinking about. Is it possible or not? It may be that it doesn't happen right away. I mean, for me at 50, I started doing the process in April. So April, May, June, July. Well, August, so it must have been April, May. August, I actually met the person who became my husband, even though there were a few men in between that I just said, thank you, thank you, thank you. Not a vibrational match for me. And at this stage of life, I wasn't about to be with anybody that wasn't a great match in values. I had three key things that I called my non-negotiables. And one of them was that I had to be able to, he had to allow me and be okay with me being on a spiritual path. And that was the very top one because, at that time, I mean, this is a while ago, things that I was into would have then been called way woo woo. Now they're just kind of mainstream, so it's okay. Yeah, so think about, go back, listen to this recording again and find out what it is that, keep that vision. Make sure you know it is what you want, because when you don't know what you want, the universe is just going to keep giving you whatever it is you have in your mind, whatever you're thinking. Well, I'll never find anybody. Well, congratulations, great use of the law of attraction, right? So want to put it out there. I know there's somebody out there for me who's a perfect match, and I invite the universe to bring in those people. Let's get started, and then when I know they're not a match, I'm going to thank them. I'm going to be gracious. I'll express my gratitude, and then I'll just say next. All right, Helena, I can tell that you're done and you're smiling. So this is very good. Let's find out what you're able to remove and release
Mhm.
for Geraldine.
Yeah, so what I did is I asked if I had a heart wall. So it said yes. And then I asked how many trapped emotions are in my heart wall? And it said 10. And I was able to release all 9 of them quite rapidly. But the 10th one was pride. And that pride is false pride, like when you say, yeah, everything is just fine. And it was trapped around the age of 16. So I released that. And then I asked if I had any hidden emotions, and it said yes. One, confusion. So I made note of that because I wanted to ask a question after the heart valve was removed, to come back to that. I was able to remove some psychic trauma, which is 2 emotions trapped at the same time, effort unreceived and vulnerability, as well as a psychic resonance, and that's an emotion that runs and vibrates throughout your entire life. Discouragement, we release that. And then I found one inherited emotion. Now, an inherited emotion is an emotion that gets transferred down at the time of conception from either your parent or even further back. And this time it was the emotion of betrayal from your father. Now, it just you can start to read in lots into that, but
Yeah.
we never read anything into it because we weren't there at the time of conception, so we don't know what was going on in your father's mind at that particular moment. But that's what got passed down. Now it was released from him as I released it, which was 10 swipes over the governing meridian. And if you, Geraldine, had children, then it would be also released from them if you had passed it down. So then I asked if you still had a heart wall, and it said no. Now, typically in our sessions are 25 to 45 minutes long when we see clients. Then I would have gone into hidden heart walls and things like that. So currently, your heart wall is gone, but you do have a hidden heart wall that I would love to work on. I then asked if I really, really, really wanted a relationship because remember that hidden
Yes.
emotion of confusion. And the subconscious mind said, out of a 10, I'm only out of 4.
Oh,
So, Dana, we know it's like we attract what we are sure about, and when there is doubt, that repels the attraction. Isn't that right?
yes.
And so when I did is, let me see, which emotion was it? Um, it was one emotion that was blocking you to get to a number 10, like 10, yes, I want a relationship. I'm sure about it. And it was shock.
Hmm.
And once shock was released, boom, 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 up to a 10. So, Geraldine, you are clear and ready to go get that relationship that you want. And I would love to work with you to work on removing that hidden heart wall so that you're open to be able to give love and also receive love. It's a two-way street, isn't it? To
Yeah.
be able to give and then to receive. So, Carolyn, let us know later on what emotions or what feelings that you may be processing. Processing is a term that we use after an emotion code session. Sometimes there are some crying or even joy, one of the two, or something in between. But whatever it is, if it's a negative emotion or a feeling, just let it come out. It's very short, it's very brief. And just a nice walk out in nature if you can today. Drinking lots of water will help the process.
Right. That's great. Thanks so much, Helena. And that's a great question that you asked about do they want a relationship? Because sometimes consciously we can think, oh yeah, I'm ready, but there in that subconscious there can be that fear. Well, I don't know if I'm really ready. Will it work out? I'm not sure about that. And this is where all these these words come in. And there is a relationship if you in with law of attraction, if you have a a strong desire, let's say yes, 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 I want a relationship. So let's say that's a 10. But then we go to the next part of the equation, and you're doubting really that you can have it. That doubt determines what your result will be and how quickly and how fast and how you will attract what it is you're actually looking for. So what we want to get to is a strong desire, minimal disbelief that it can happen. So we want to believe it can happen. Strong desire, believe it can happen. That's when everything can get in motion, because remember that everything is energy. And so that energy, that what the heart wall does, it not only blocks love from coming in, but it also blocks you from giving love. You may think you are, but when that heart wall is gone, poof, a whole new world opens up. A whole new world opens up once that's gone. So, all right, that's great. Yeah, so she can let us know in the post or have a conversation with you, Helena. So thanks so much for that. So next week we are going to be working on, again, we're sticking with the heart wall and relationships. So family. So if there is someone in your family that you would like to have a better relationship with, any family member, Helena and I would be happy to work on you, or if you know somebody, let them know about the show and they can PM us, and we can get together and do what we did for Geraldine. Oh, there, she's made a comment, Helena.
Yes, yes. She says, I felt lighter and kind of giggly when I was listening to Dana speak. I didn't know that you were working on me. And then I did start to cry, but it was pretty brief though. Thank you. She's super excited.
Yeah, exactly. And
I love our
oftentimes,
work.
yeah, when Helena and I are doing this, especially around heart wall, it's the one time when I'm doing that particular emotion that I will find myself crying as well. With, I can just kind of feel that pain that that person has gone through. And it won't last for a long time, but it'll just be very deep. And there's that connection. And then it's okay. Let's just let that go. It's okay. Let's just let that go. Yeah. So Helena, how can people reach you?
So people can reach me through my website, which is flourishhypnosis.com. If you go /emotion code, I've got lots of information on the emotion code and all the programs that I offer. I also have a Facebook page called Flourish Hypnosis, as well as some YouTube channels.
Excellent. Thanks, Helena. And you can find me at empoweredwomeninbusiness.com /emotion-code for that. And my YouTube channel is Empowered Women in Business. I have a lot of different playlists on there. There's lots of Law of Attraction. There's also a lot of the Emotion Code Divas show. And right now I do have a special on for, I'm calling it my Valentine's Day special. If you would like me to work with you using the Law of Attraction the way that I found my husband, and then have an emotion code session, I would love to do that with you. Just let me know. I'm offering that for a very special price, so you can just look on the website. I posted it there. And we look forward to you enjoying your week. Happy Valentine's Day. And, you know, for some people, Valentine's Day, they just want to kind of lay low. That's good. You know, do whatever feels good to you, right? Whatever feels good to you. And you can make a big deal out of it, or just do something quietly, or if you are by yourself, then celebrate you. Celebrate your relationship with you. It's very, very important to do, and very healthy to do as well. All right, then. That's us for now. Thanks so much for watching.
Bye-bye.